Right, everybody, welcome to another episode of the, Pontius Paint Booth, starring me, your illustrious host. That is this way, Pontius Paint Booth. I'll get it right one of these days. And something that you need to get right, if you haven't done so already, is go to the corner, like and subscribe to my page, my channel here on YouTube, Multi-Murdy Media. You will get this playlist, as well as the Jankety Ass Podcast playlist, which is my video format of my podcast, which you can also find everywhere you can find audio podcasts. And you will also get various Gutsy Ass Gamer playlists. Yes, playlists. That's basically where I play video games and record for you guys. Great time to start, hiccuping and shit like that. A little bit of reflux. And then also stay tuned to the end of the episode. You'll see a card with all my links to all my socials and all that stuff on there. So, you'll also notice that this episode is also another one of my small commissions sub-episodes where we do small commissions, aka not an entire paint scheme, not a fully realized type of thing, just enough to, get on the table and play. Because most of what I do is Warhammer 40k, in some cases Age of Sigmar as well, but, playable model games. So let's go ahead and see what I'm working on this time, this commission. Get my lights on here. This time we are working on the Primaris Judiciar. Now what this guy is he's kind of, wow, that is really bright. There we go. Helps a little bit. So this guy is, the idea behind these guys is they're kind of like a they're like the executioner, basically. They're not they're not an HQ. Sorry, I'm coming out of a cold, so I still got like the shit dripping back into my throat from my nose. And it's making me cough, as you can see. Oh, he's missing a shoulder pad. That's nice. Maybe. Anywho, as I'm trying to say, the Judiciar basically just runs around collecting heads and stuff and performing deeds. And the idea is that usually these guys end up becoming chaplains, I believe. But until then, they have their mouth covered and they can't speak, and they got this big ass lantern and a big ass sword. And these guys I was actually just looking up the rules again. These guys they're somewhat cheap characters. And what's kind of cool is that they can actually make a unit, like hypnotize an enemy unit and make them fight last. But regardless, this is part of the Space Marine Primaris commission that I've been working on for too long now, actually. I'm trying to get this all finished up. But as I've been doing, you can see that it starts out with white, and what I'm actually going to be doing first is we're going to be picking out all the edging around this guy. And that is going to be done with, now fortunately, there's not as much on this guy since he's wearing this big ass robe. So you can't really see that much, which makes my job a little bit easier. But I still have like the whole backpack to deal with. But in order to do that, we're going to be going in with the Druchii Violet, which is our purple wash, or shade, actually they're called now. Talking too much, apparently. And that's going to be mostly done, well, you can't really see any between the joints on this guy. So that's going to be kind of like around the breastplate and all the grooves on the legs and the arms. And, well, not even the head, because yeah, he's got a bare head. But, the backpack also. So this won't take a whole hell of a lot. We're just going to go ahead and do this up and then let it dry. So let's get some music going and get started. Okay. So like I said, not a whole lot going on in this case. Since fortunately the robe and he's got these gloves that kind of cover up most of the details around it. But as you can see on the greaves here, still have to find a good spot. Yeah. On his greave, mainly his forward one, but a little bit underneath. On the back one, we got some details picked out. As well as on his shoulder, there's a nice outline going on there. And a little bit around his elbow and his backpack. So, God damn it. We're going to go ahead and let this guy dry off and just kind of sit for a minute. One last look at him. And I'll come back to him shortly. Alright, time to get some more going on this guy. On our Judiciar, as you can see, we got some edging done, especially on the greave there. I managed to get the camera focused a little bit better, and I'll show you some of the back. So now what it's time to do is we're going to add in some details, namely the weapons, pouches, and his belt. So he actually has two belts. There's one that you can kind of see underneath the cloak there. That's part of his suit belt. And then, of course, he has this, his fucking lantern's in the way, this decorative belt that goes around his coat or whatever. And then as far as pouches, he's got this holster on the side here, and then just a couple small pouches in the back here. And then lastly, of course, that gun handle, this big-ass sword of his, and then I'm also going to do up this chain that he has around the lantern. Or, not lantern, but hourglass. Not the hourglass itself, just the chain. And I think this pendant here. He doesn't really have a separate buckle like he would normally have on the suit, so I'm just going to do that black as well. And to achieve this, so the belt, like I said, matte black. Gun metal. Pretty easy. Now the pouches are going to be the hardened carapace, which is basically shows up as like a really dark brown. So starting with the belt, let's get some music going and get into it. Alright, got some details down, show you in a sec here. Where we at? So, yep, got some belt work in, a little bit at least. There we go. Got some color on the sword and the chain, and the pouches in the back. So, going to go ahead and give this a second, make sure it's completely dry. And when I come back, we're going to go back in and clean up everything. You'll see what I mean.
Are you listening to this show and thinking, man, I'd like to start a podcast, but I don't even know where to start? Well, Buzzsprout has the answers for you. Buzzsprout is a podcast hosting service that provides a number of valuable resources to help you on your podcasting career path. For one, Buzzsprout offers indefinite hosting of all your episodes and allows you to host as much material as you want, depending on the type of subscription that you opt for. Buzzsprout also provides a means for getting your show hosted to every major podcasting platforms such as iTunes, Pandora, Spotify, you name it. In addition, Buzzsprout also provides various means to get your show monetized through various sponsorship and affiliate programs, links to other paid hosting platforms such as Patreon and YouTube, and your own personal newsroom to learn all the tips and tricks for optimizing your podcast for the greatest return on your investment. If you're hearing all this and you're still interested, you can go to my link below and receive an Amazon gift card for starting a podcast hosting subscription that you'll receive on the second billing period of your podcast journey. Everyone has something to share, and there's no time like the present. Join Buzzsprout today.
Alright. I don't know about you guys, but I'm tired of looking at this guy. But I'll have you look at him a little bit more on our Judiciar. So all we got to do now that we've added in all the details and let them all dry up is to basically go in and just kind of clean up around the white armor and all that stuff. And that's basically done by just reapplying our white paint. Where this will mostly come into effect, like especially here down underneath the chest, you can kind of see there's like purple spill all over the place because it's hard to get too even, and there are some spots that I don't necessarily want to be white or purple, and the lining just isn't really there. So sorry, I still have a rough throat. So what we're gonna do is go in with our white and just clean it all up. So, and then we'll be done. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so that is it for our Judiciar commission. So as you can kind of see, we cleaned up the lines around him a bit. Not so much underneath the chest, but if you look at the greaves here, they're a lot cleaner than they used to be, especially around the feet. Woo. And then also on the backpack. And let's see, oh yeah, the shoulder pad here, the lines are nice and even instead of all splotchy and stuff. So that is another episode of the Poncho's Paint Booth completed, and another sub-episode of the, wow, losing my words, small commissions with our fancy-pantsy, oh come on, I know you can zoom in better than that. Yeah. Judiciar. Enough of that. If you haven't done so already, go to the corner, like and subscribe to Multi-Murdy Media. That is a channel that you're watching right now. And also, stay tuned to the end. You'll see the links to all of my socials and my website to get all the updates on episodes as they come out, and links to everything such as here. Should have done so already, but you have missed plenty more chances. And as always, I will see you again very soon.